Yo, yo, can you guys hear me or not? Just waiting on you. Alright, y'all just popping in. I'm about to get Rillo on here. We're just waiting for him to pop up and we're gonna get it started. Make sure y'all tap in. Yeah, we're just waiting. But I did a few interviews like a couple days ago, so if y'all want to tap into that, check it out. It's on my YouTube. Yeah. Yo. If y'all new here, make sure y'all subscribe to, hit that like button. And yeah, for y'all that's new here, I do like interviews with like artists, uh, producers, podcasters. It's all up on my YouTube channel. So yeah, we just waiting on Rillo to pop in, and we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about like all, just pretty much more towards his music itself, because this is like a rap platform. And then we're gonna talk about like probably just his somewhat his plumbing too, what he does, like the typical stuff. Oh, he's kind of lagging though. I don't know what happened, but we're gonna see. Yeah, I did like an interview. What's it called? Yesterday, it was like with some artists. Like he does like extreme trap. It's pretty much like just yells in the mic and all, but he for sure got his own style going and all. He's definitely rocking with it. He said that I don't know if he was like being truthful or not, but he said that he did like he had Phoenix Flexin managing him. So who knows if that's actually true or not. But Yo, yo, yo.
Hello, hello.
Hold
Hello,
on one
hello.
sec.
Can you hear me, bro?
Let me get my mic ready.
Already. Hello? I can't hear you. I can hear you before. I can't hear you now. No, I can't hear you still. I heard you before, though. Already. I can hear again.
Yo, yo.
Hey, there we go. Can you hear me? You went off again, bro.
Yo,
Hello. Can you hear me good? Yeah, you keep going off. I don't know if it's my. I don't think it's my earpiece.
what about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, for sure. Welcome to the platform Rap Wars. Let the people know who you are and who they're rocking with and where you coming from.
Well, first off, I appreciate it, bro, for having me on. And my name is Whatsrillo.
So what was that?
I said my name is Whatsrillo, and I'm from Whatsrillo Entertainment, and I'll straight out of Texas.
Oh, okay, all right. That's what's up right there. All right, let's get straight into these questions I got for you. Um, I know that you also work as like a plumber too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you did research.
All right. Yep, you already know. I got it. What does a typical like 8 hour shift look like for you? Like, and how much of it is spent driving versus actually working on pipes?
So it really depends, man. It depends on the day. Sometimes it can be a lot of driving. Other times it can be over. It can be maybe just like an hour total of driving.
I feel that. So it's just depends on how far you gotta go that day, or like how long of a project
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
going.
So like we have a long project, something where it's gonna take 8 hours. Most people need to get there within enough time in the whole 8 hours there. And then by the time we get home, so it's not
I
as
think you like your mic's kind of like low or something.
is it low?
Well, yeah, it's kind of sounding low. So I could probably just
Is
edit
that
it,
better?
make it sound louder.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's like a little better now.
All right, that. I can probably talk up too. I'm kind of quiet, man.
Oh yeah, no, we good. Okay, so that how often do you find yourself working in like cramped, dark, and uncomfortable like spaces, like crawl spaces?
A lot, man. I'm skinny, so so I'll be real, a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's just up right there. What is the hardest part of your day physically, and how do you prevent like burnout or injury?
So the hardest part of my day is gonna be probably lifting heavy things. Like I said, I'm on the skinnier side. So lifting heavy things, or if I have like a very heavy day in the attic here in Texas, it's gonna be very hot, especially if we're lifting in and out water heaters, that kind of thing like that. That's gonna be the hardest part for me. Um, how to prevent burnout in the service industry, the service side of plumbing is kind of hard because we work like there's no determined hours. Depending on the company you work for, you can end up working a lot, like 24/7 on call, with rotating shifts. And so burnout, you have to find your own way to relax and do things on your own time. Definitely have to find time to like have hobbies, have things to
I feel that. Okay, so it just varies pretty much,
do.
like
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
like how
just
much time you get depending on what company.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It
so you
depends
could
a
get
lot
over
about the
like,
company.
all right. So you could get like over like 8 hours sometimes. Like you'll be working
Oh,
over that.
almost definitely every time. The only question is if you work 24/7 on call, if you have to like be mandatory weekends, things like that. So you're almost always gonna get your 40 hours. It's a question of have to work over like 50.
All right. No, I feel that. And then with those like heavy objects you gotta pick up and all, that shit must put like sores on your like just your whole body, you know. You feel like sore the next
Yeah,
day or
yeah,
like
bro. Yeah, yeah. So I would get cut a lot, bruised a lot, random cuts, bruises. I can't tell you how many times I pick things up like paperwork and I would have blood on it. It's just you have to be very careful, especially on the call stations and things like that. I can't tell you how many times I got hurt. It's
oh
nothing
yeah,
to get
not
hurt.
bad.
You just have to keep moving. You just gotta keep going.
All right. No, I feel that with you. Okay, and when you walk into a house and the customer doesn't like know where the leak is coming from, what is your step by step like process for tracking it down?
So first, so it really depends. So we would go to the meter or do a pressure test to make sure that they are losing pressure within the water system because it can be coming from several different places that may not even be the fresh water system. So first off, we would test and make sure it's coming from the fresh water system. If it was an active fresh water leak, we have loss in pressure, we have a meter running, something like that. Then we would go to isolating like where the area is, like whether or not it's visible water or if it's not visible water, it's possibly a slab leak. There's different steps that we take. We would turn off the water heater, disconnect, like use the
Hold on, I
valve
think
on the
like
water heater.
your mic's kind of like cutting in and out right there.
All right, hold on. Let me see if it's better without the mic.
All right, for sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it better or not?
Well, yeah, I can hear you way better now. You know.
All right, bet. Then we'll just do it that way. All right, man. So
Oh,
like,
for sure.
you want me to start over, or you want me to just pick up where I was at?
You could pick up where you were at and all.
All right. So then we would hit like the water heater, turn off the valve at the water heater to make sure that it's not a hot water leak. If it is a hot water leak, then it kind of gives us more options on how quick we gotta like take care of this thing, especially with the
All right. And I feel that right there. Okay, so you got like your own process going and all. Like every time you like
yeah,
do a job
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
All right,
man.
I
And
feel that.
it really takes like experience, time, or else you waste a lot of time doing it. And if you got 3 or 4 calls in one day, that
Nah, most that. No, I'm already knowing. Okay, what is the most like complex or challenging like plumbing repair you've ever had to complete?
Mm. I mean, there's simple answers like a serious slab leak that caused like a cavern underneath the home, so we had to pump out gallons and gallons of water. And then there's more complex ones like that necessarily weren't harm, just were like a pain, which would be like tracing down like sewer smells, gas smells. You have to like use smoke tests and things like that to be able to find it within the wall and stuff like that. So I mean, it really depends. Then there's like brain things where you have to really think your way through this situation or like a gas leak, certain things like that.
No, most def. No, I don't know if it's kind of still like cutting out. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like your earphones or something, or it might just be the distance.
You sound you sound still cutting out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like maybe your earphones. Last time I had like the same problem with someone else. Like their earphones was like messing with the sound.
Like this, but then I don't know if you're gonna get the interference from.
Oh no, I can hear. I can hear you way louder now.
All right, cool. So we'll just
Yeah.
do it like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Then.
This is way better. Okay, for sure, for sure. If you want to like say that last part again, like about the what is it called? The most complex like or challenging like plumbing repair you ever had.
Yeah, so there's like easy answers like a serious water leak underneath the slab that caused like a cavern to form underneath the home. And we had to pump out water, then get under there and pretty much replace all the piping because it was all sitting underwater at a certain point. Once it causes like a serious cavern like that, it becomes structurally like unsafe, but it also like soaks all the copper in water for a long time. For it to cause a cavern, it's been there a long time. Um, then
Oh,
there's other complex ones like chasing down a sewer gas leak when it comes on like the venting system, things like that. You have to fill up the sewer with smoke and do a smoke test and then chase it down, cut open walls and find where it's at. That's a different type of complex. And then there's like brain complexity when it comes to like gas leaks and things like that.
oh, down. So you gotta pretty much be like fully aware and all like what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people think plumber just means one or two things, but it really doesn't. It deals with water, gas, sewer, and other different things. So it's a lot more math than people realize. For people like me, I'm more of a hands-on approach, but you can really use math too.
Oh, I feel that. Okay. And how do you decide between a quick repair and doing a complete like repiping of a system?
So normally, unless there's like electrolysis or something that's running throughout the whole pipes, or unless we have to like dig majority of the home up to do like to get to the area. I normally don't try to suggest a repipe unless the person wants it, just because I rather give them a more fulfilling like a repair, something that's not going to cost them an arm and leg. But
Right.
everybody does it different. And PEX, you can always reroute in PEX and go overhead, but that's still going to be, quite a bit of money. It just depends on the situation. But if you're going to spend somewhere around 10,000 anyway, I might talk to you about a repipe because then you're going to be in the $40,000 range.
All right, depending on how much they have to spend and all, you
Yeah.
go from
And
there.
if there's electrolysis within like a piping system like copper, especially electrolysis will make the copper weaker. So if we know something like that's going on and that's why they sprung a leak in the first place, then it's probably best because it'll kind of affect the whole system. It's kind of best just to get it out of there, not to have to worry
Right.
about it later on. Or if it's galvanized piping, because galvanized is old, it'll rot after a while.
Okay, okay. I feel that. And have you ever opened up like a wall or a floor and found something like completely unexpected?
Yeah, man, I found like well, of course, like your average dead animals, stuff like that, like the bodies of, like rodents and things like that. You never expect that. Um, I found, like you talking about like plumbing wise or just like weird stuff? Because I found both.
Like any like stuff like weird stuff you found, like
Yeah,
anything
nah.
out
So
of
I
the
found a
ordinary.
I found a book one time. I don't know how that got back there, but I found a book in a wall. Um, I found a drawing that a person had done, like that I guess whoever had been in there before had to repair something. They drew a little something in there. I found somebody's stash
Sure.
before.
Just some jugs in the wall and all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, pretty sure it was probably like a youngster hiding it from his parents or something. Yeah, but I found that before.
Oh no. Oh, okay. What was it, like a stash of like pills or like some like coke in there?
Nah, I didn't find the actual thing, just baggies, man, bags and like, leftover tips and stuff like that, man. Like, but you could tell that was the frequent area that they hid their stuff.
Yeah, that was like their spot right there.
Yeah, I found
Okay, okay.
syringes. Now that I will say I found that wasn't fun. I was like, oh nah, man. I had to glove up and everything. I was like, nah.
Oh yeah,
Like I
nah,
mean thick
for
gloves,
real.
you know what I'm saying? Thick gloves. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nah, for real, you gotta watch out for that. Most stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and what are your like preferred materials to work with? Like copper, PEX, or PVC, and
If
why?
it's for the customer, like if it's for the best of the customer, copper always. But if it's like my preference, like something that's easy for me, man, pecs.
Why do you prefer like PEX over copper?
So if I'm talking about like easy for me, it's a easier product to work with, and it expands and retracts a lot better and things like that. But if you have any rodents or if you're gonna have any like work done and things like that, it's best to go in a harder material. There's a reason why we use copper in the first place. It's harder to puncture. It lasts a lot longer when it comes to like density. But as far as dexterity, freezes, anything like that, Pex is going to be better because it expands and contracts a lot easier.
Okay, okay, no, I
And it's
feel
easier
that.
to repair
So
the
like,
pecs. It's a lot cheaper to repair the pecs. So
oh, okay, I get that. All right, so like copper like lasts like longer pretty much, but like if it breaks, it's like harder to like repair and all. Which with X, it's like way easier to repair, and then it like
yeah,
lasts like during like some temperatures, like colder temperatures, it'll last longer.
yeah, yeah. Like if you're gonna have a fluctuation in temperatures and things like that.
All right, I didn't know that. So how do you handle like diagnosing like a system that has like low water pressure?
So low water pressure is harder. Like if it is a city supply, then there's pretty much nothing you can do. You can have them call the city and report it and have them try to get the city to up the pressure in that area. If several people are having the same issues, then several people will call, and that's a better chance of you getting something done about it. But as far as low pressure, there's not too much you can do from a city supply because it's coming in at a certain PSI. So you would diagnose it by using a pressure gauge, um, and you would attach it to like a hose bib and see what the pressure's sitting at. Average pressure here in Texas, at least for North Texas, is going to be between 60 and 80. So 60 being at the low end, 80 being at the high. As long as you're in the 55 range, you're not going to see too many issues. You start getting 50, 45, you're going to start having low pressure to where it's not going to be satisfying for most people. But there's not too much you can do
Okay,
because the city is supplying that PSI. So that's what it's just coming in at. So you really can't pump it up or do anything like that. There are pumps that claim that they can do that and stuff, but it's going to cost you a lot in electricity. It's really going to be a variation, like a fluctuation. It's not going to be a constant, and it really doesn't do much, to be honest.
right. So you gotta pretty much take it up with the city and all, because that's what they like handle and all.
Yeah, yeah, the city would have to because it's already a set pressure from them. So if they bump up the pressure, then it's all solved. Um, but the like a well system, that would be pumps. You could pump out and add pumps to a well system because you already have a supply of water, and then you would just do the math on how much pressure you would need to pump it out at, and how much water they would have to keep in that well for it not to go dry. Did I lose you? Did you freeze or did I freeze? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Now I started hearing something, but then it cut off again. Nah.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, we back. Yeah, I don't know, like some we got some like technical difficulties going on, but are we
It
good now?
happens, man.
Oh,
It happens.
yeah. I don't know what's up with my earphones. I gotta get like a new like earphones or something like that. Okay, um what is like a common like DIY mistake you see people make that ends up like costing them a lot more money like to fix later?
Trying to snake their own sewer, man, or like trying to like either trying to snake their own sewer or trying to install piping themselves. You see a lot of floods when people try to install piping themselves. They normally like mess up the other pipe and then they can't get it together and then they end up like, turning on their water or something, thinking that it's together and then they'll flood their house. Or they'll like get their sewer snake or get a snake stuck in the sewer.
Yeah, and it ends up costing them more than if they would have just paid a
Oh
plumber
yeah.
to like fix
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah, real talk. 100%.
Yeah, that's crazy. Some people think they can like do it all, like especially like those hands-on workers and all, like people like that. Like even with people from construction, I seen like someone trying to like do that too. They felt like they could actually do plumbing and all, but they ended up like making it worse.
Yeah, though I think there's like a stigma about plumbing that it's not hard and that like plumbers like think too like hold themselves too highly, but I don't think people really understand everything that plumbers do. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that people can do themselves and it's not hard. But then at the same time, when it becomes messed up is when not only does it cost a lot, but it can even become a problem for people's health, like for their health. So
No, for real. Like, yeah, most deaths. Like, I guess like people just see it on TV or they just see like on YouTube and they're like, oh, I can probably do this, and then they end up like not able to do it at all, or even make the things worse. So yeah, I feel what you're saying for sure, for sure. Okay, what kind of like certifications, training, or like continuing education do you need to keep your plumbing license like up to date?
So they pretty much it used to be a lot more. Now they pretty much shorten it down to there's a lot of endorsements you can get and a lot of classes you can go through to like be able to get certified for different things. But just to be holding your plumbing license, you just have to have plumbing education, continuing education for about it's like 1 day per year. But that's after you already do all the hours and pass the test and everything like that. So it's harder to get there than it is to keep it. So
Okay, okay, no, I feel that for sure. Okay, and how'd you get the name? What's Rillo?
so everyone that I knew, like from my neighborhood and stuff, called me Rillo. I didn't know it for years. I just heard of this dude that they call Rillo. And then I was like, one day I asked everybody because we were like at a little kickback and they were like, hey, Rillo's here. And I was like, where is he, man? I heard about this cat, but I've never met him. And how come I ain't met him? And they're like, you are Rillo, man. And and so like I was like, what? and like I've known these people for since I was in elementary and stuff, man. So like it was that my first name and somebody else's first name was the same, but he came later. So they just gave me a nickname so that way they wouldn't get confused on who they were talking about. And I didn't know that. Like I said, I had always just been my first name to everybody. So the what's comes from because I didn't like just the name Rillo, but everybody kind of told me when I started doing music, you need a name that people are going to immediately know it's you, at least in our circle, you know what I'm saying? So it'll help you
Right.
kind of get traction and stuff like that. So I said, okay. So I added the what's from what's real. And then it kind of became its own thing. Everybody's like, what's Rillo? Like, and it kind of caught on. People started saying, what's real though? What's Rillo? What? And I don't know, it kind of just became a little thing, man. And I used it in a freestyle, and everybody kind of took to it, and they thought it was unique. And yeah,
No, no, most definitely. It definitely like sticks out, pops out like to the audience, even like being a rapper too. Definitely cool. Definitely like sticks for sure, for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Oak Cliff, out of Dallas, Oak Cliff, Texas. Oh, it's Dallas, Texas, but it's Oak Cliff. You know, it's its own little neighborhood. Um, and I was raised in Fort Worth, Texas. So I came over here when I was about 11 years old. But we always like my family's from Oak Cliff, so I always just say I'm a DF Dub baby, Dallas Fort Worth baby. You know.
Okay, and like growing up in like Oak Cliff, like at a young age before you moved, like how was that environment compared to like the Fort Worth environment?
So Oak Cliff, man, it's its own environment. Like it is, it's kind of notorious around our area. It's known to be kind of its own little barrio or own hood. I grew up in the Mexican side, um, and it's very like tight knit. Uh, I learned a lot of things I probably shouldn't have before I was even of age to learn them. Was introduced to a lifestyle that kind of set me up for the rest of my life type thing. Like I just believed that I was a certain kind of person because just where we kind of like the way we grew up, I had really good parents, but the outside like influences were totally different than my actual household.
Okay, so pretty much like you grew up in like a rough like neighborhood, like in the Oak Cliff. There was like a lot of gang
Yeah,
members
yeah,
out there.
yeah. For lack of better words, but it was very tight knit, man. Like very like I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like the barrio, but a lot of people believed in God. Like I was taught a lot about church, respect, things like that. But at the same time, you learned real quick you couldn't walk down certain streets if you were from this street. You know what I'm saying? Like so. It was different, man. It was a lot of respect, but yet at the same time you understood where you were.
Nah, for real, for real. On one of your videos, you said that you've known God for your whole life. Like, can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so I was raised going to church pretty much my whole life. My dad was even like a catechism teacher, like for we I was raised Catholic. I'm Christian now. Really, it's kind of to me it's very similar. It's just more of a different kind of I guess like a cultural thing to me more than it is like differences in God because they both worship the same Jesus, God, everything like that. But I was raised Catholic, so in our neighborhood it was kind of like you would go to church all day Sunday, man, like all day. And with my dad being the teacher for the younger classes, like for the kids and stuff, like I was in his class. So it would just, I mean, it was just all day. It was all day, all night. And my parents, my mom even had like some would call it like a shrine, but it was more like an area within the home that she had pictures of Jesus, the Virgin Mary. She had
Uh,
a kneeling area, everything like that, candles. So I grew up with a very godly sense of life. It was I never was raised to believe that like we're our own people. It was more like we're God. There is a God, and whatever you do in life, you will have to answer to God at some point in time.
all right, so both your parents are like heavy on like religious like stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Not so much to where like the way people think, more like the way that they live their life. Like not
Uh,
so much always having to go to church and everything like that. That was just something they did because it brought them, fulfillment. But it was more in the daily life, the way they treated people, the fact that they prayed every day, and things like that, man. Really made an impact on my life.
and you said that growing up in Cliff, you said Cliff over there in Cliff. Was it Cliffwood? I don't really know the whole Texas like
It's Oak Cliff. Oak
oh
Cliff.
Cliff, yes. All right, so
Yeah,
like you
Oak Cliff,
said, you
Texas.
also got introduced to like things young that you weren't supposed to. Like, can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, man. I would say back in the 90s when I was growing up, it was like I wouldn't say too violent, but there was a lot of violence around, a lot of gang activity around. Um, Pretty much if you were from wherever, street you were from, whatever blocks ran together, that's just where you were from. And that you didn't really have a choice in that. It was just, hey man, we're on this side, you're on that side, we don't go over there, you don't come over here. If you did, then there would be, issues, gunshots, things like that. Because of the household that I lived in, we more saw it from the outside, man, had to deal with other people getting shot up around us, things like that, having to, even one time across the street, man, there was a house that got caught on fire. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was nothing for me. I understood that a mattress was really good sometimes against the windows, man. That's the best way I can put it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
All right. So, you pretty much found out like about the whole like street life or and like what goes on in
yeah,
the streets at an early age. Were you
yeah, yeah,
involved
yeah.
yourself?
Um, I wouldn't say I was necessarily involved, but I I wasn't not involved. It was one of those things, man. I played outside. I spent a lot of time outside. I have friends, so they have brothers, we all hung out together. I had an older sister, um, and I still have an older sister. But it was very tight knit. Like I said, man, we all hung out together. Even when I see people from the old neighborhood and stuff today, even when I visit the old neighborhood, because we had a house there for a long time. Um, it never falls off, man. Like I could go on and on about that. I haven't seen some of these cats in like 15, 10 years, whatever, whatever. Every time that we see each other, nothing but love, nothing but respect, remembering everything that we grew up on. We were porch babies, man. We were porch babies. Like straight up on the porch. It was 90s, stereos, everybody trying to get down with Tupac, Biggie, even
Yeah.
like what do you call it? Bone Thugs and Harmony. We were porch babies, man. We did everything outside, everything. From the time we woke up to the time we went to sleep, we were outside.
Oh no, that's how it pretty much was. Because nowadays, like everyone's like pretty much like an iPad baby. Like even the newer generations now they're pretty much inside, just playing on their phones, iPads. But before, like if you wanted to kick it or like talk to people, you would actually have to go outside. These days, now you could just do like a video chat with them or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah. 100%,
and
man. And being from a Mexican neighborhood like that, I can say that you had a lot of influence from people from Mexico that would come in and things like that as well. So I'll never forget one day I woke up, went outside, saw like three chivos hanging off off of like basketball goals in my neighbor's backyard, and they're just you know doing their thing, making getting ready to make barbacoa and stuff like that, man. And it was a
Yeah.
sight, bro. I promise. Like you ain't seen something till you seen like and rooster fighting was a big thing. So I mean, just the Mexican culture uh, was a big influence as well. Like I said, I was born here. My family's from Mexico, not my parents, but my grandparents, things like that. They're my parents' grandparents as well, stuff like that. So we went to Mexico. We spent time over there. We lived in a Mexican neighborhood, so that was a big part of my lifestyle as well.
And I feel that
And
for
it's a
sure.
lot
Like,
different. If you ever been around like Mexicans from Mexico, it's a lot different. It's it's just a different type of street style.
like a different type of like atmosphere too.
Yeah.
I feel that. So they pretty much like people from Mexico, like they moved over there. Like a lot
Oh
of them
yeah.
migrated
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah. Like crazy, bro, like crazy. So like for the longest time, I didn't understand the difference between like a Tejano like myself and a Mexican because I grew up around nothing but Mexicans and I spoke Spanish. I still can speak Spanish, everything like that. It wasn't until I got older and like kind of grew my mind, kind of traveled, did things that I started realizing, okay, there is a big difference, right? But I at the time growing up there, it was everything was Spanish. I spoke Spanish. I went to church in Spanish. The only thing that was English was school. I even went to ESL, which is weird for an American kid to go to ESL, but I even went to English second language in school because I didn't speak a lot of English when I was little, and when I did, like I just didn't speak it too well.
Yeah, so you have to like learn it and get more fluent in it.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah,
so
yeah.
when you moved to Horns work, was it pretty much the same,
It
like
was Fort Worth,
being in
Fort
Oak
Worth.
Cliff?
So Fort Worth
No,
is very different from Oak Cliff.
okay,
It
okay.
depends on what part you're
Like how?
from. It depends on what part you're from.
Okay, so you mean like the just the people out there are different, like they have like different lingos going on.
So there's this thing between Fort Worth and Dallas, period, to where it's like Fort Worth's like, nah, we're Fort Worth because Dallas is the bigger city. And when people fly in, like anybody that knows Dallas Fort Worth, they normally know it because of the what do you call it, the airport, and it's called Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, right? So like people tend to like lump them together. So because of that, there's like at least back when I came over here, there was a big like, oh, so you're a Dallas cat, like so it was more like Dallas Fort Worth didn't really try to blend. Nowadays it's different, but back then it was like Fort Worth was Fort Worth, Dallas is Dallas. They were very proud of the distinctivity between each other. So
And they have like their own styles and pretty much when it came down to it.
yeah, they had way
Like
way different styles, man. Now I would say back in the like early 2000s, it had just calmed down over here in Fort Worth, but previously it was very gang related, man, in certain parts, like even more so than certain parts of Dallas because it was more like on site type thing, man. Like I mean, if you ever look up certain things from Fort Worth and even certain Fort Worth rappers, they talk about it, like the older schools, they'll talk about it a lot, man. It was way different climate in the 90s, 80s in Fort Worth for like certain communities. Like I'm in the north side of Fort Worth. I'm more on the like edge of the suburbs, but right here next door, like across the literal railroad tracks is the barrio. So like it is and that's where I grew up. That's even why we came over here because it's a lot like kind of the neighborhood we came from. It's very Mexican based, very like,
okay, okay, no, I feel that for sure. And you said there's like the rappers out there. Was It's Paul. What's his name? Paul Wall from over there.
He's in Houston.
Oh, have you ever like met him or ran into him living out there?
Nah, nah. The only like bigger rapper from like Houston that I've ran into that people may know is like Little Flip, and that was years ago when I was still in like a certain lifestyle. The man probably don't even remember me because he lived a whole life and stuff like that. But he came to a
Yeah.
little place over here in Arlington, and I had gotten a call that they needed some party supplies, so I had pulled up, and the people that I knew, they got me close to them because they knew I was starting to make music and everything. I always made music my whole life, but I was doing other things, had family, had all the kind of things going on. So I was more into other things at the time, but people were trying to pull me into music because I'd always made it. And so yeah, man, I just always believed that like that was gonna jump off for me and then it would affect the music. So I always focused other places and just did music when I could. But at that time I
Yeah,
had
that was
been
the main
called to
focus.
this little place to to just get some party favors and stuff, man. So
All right, all right. So if you were like pretty much like in the era where you were focused on music, you probably would have asked them like for a feature or just a collab with them.
yeah, if I would have thought about it, man, I would have, but like I always had this like thing about myself, like I guess maybe it's the mentality of a person that's trying to hustle and stuff. I always just thought like when I get motion, when I get something going, I'm not gonna have to ask, right? So I was always more focused on the motion, on trying to get other things going for myself, build my own name, build my own reputation, everything like that. I thought it was just dope that I got called that my people were that close. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was real cool,
Yeah.
man. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, and I even got to smoke with him and stuff like that. So shout out to him. He was a real down to earth person. Like I say, he probably don't remember me, whatever, but like the whole experience to be close to a person like that had seen the heights he had seen and stuff, uh, definitely was like cool to me. And the fact that he was a very down to earth person, regular cat. I couldn't have, like by regular I mean like he did not treat me any different than he would just like I mean I felt very comfortable around him in his presence and stuff like that. So very, very dope.
He didn't treat you like most rappers do. Like they treat them pretty much like shit. Everyone else like treat them like a
Yeah, yeah,
nobody. You
nah,
know.
man, nah. I can say that he literally was like, "Come over here, man. Like, hey, I appreciate it. Like, let you know what I'm saying. Let's burn one. Let's talk. And I was like, cool. Like, that's what's up. And we're just like right here, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so it was cool. I grew up listening to Lil Flip. So for me, it was like, hey, what's up, man? But I didn't say nothing, I didn't like try to like talk about music or nothing. But like he asked me a couple of questions about the people I was with, like because he was there doing I think a show for a feature like he was on a feature with somebody that I knew, and that's how he even was in that area. And so they were doing like a little show at the little bar, and I was like, man, I'm surprised you even at this small place. He's like, man, I go wherever the money at. I don't care. He's like, I
Wherever you could get a bag,
huh?
wherever you could get a bag at. It doesn't care how
Yeah.
big or small it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Tied to
bro.
that.
And that's why I always like I rarely ever tell this story. I think I've only maybe told it once to like another person that was like, in the same room with me. But yeah, nah, man, I gotta say that like that was a cool experience. The fact that he was down to earth, the fact that he was just a regular person just talking to me and we were just talking. I didn't have to be like, oh man, I like your music, nothing like that. It was just, we were just talking.
Oh no, I bet, I bet. All right. And then how was it like growing up or going to school out there in Fort Worth? Like did you have good grades or how was that experience?
So as a young kid, yeah, I wouldn't say good grades, but I never failed. I was always like mid range. I was in like the higher mid range, like 90s, but like Like there was a couple times that I could have like maybe done honors stuff like that, but like as my younger age, like sixth grade or like fifth grade, but I kind of like
Like in middle school?
yeah, but I kind of like how do I say I kind of stuck with certain people and stereotypes to where like it just didn't fit to where it was like teachers didn't really think I should or things like that. So I just never like stepped out and did anything like that. I wasn't banned though, man. I will say that I wasn't banned as long as I could be. But I didn't really go to school too long after seventh grade or sixth grade. So
Okay, while you were in band though, what instrument were you playing?
trumpet, man, trumpet.
Oh,
Matter of
and do you
fact,
feel
I
like
still got
that
it sitting
helped you
right
out?
back
Like,
here.
oh, you got the instrument and all?
Huh?
You got the instrument still?
Yeah, man. I'm in music. Come on.
Hey, that's what's up right there. Do you implement like that style into your music? Like, would you play like a trumpet like in the background while you're rapping,
So I'm
or like a
learning, I'm
beat
learning,
with?
I'm relearning it because I was more into jazz at the time as a youngster. I have a real loud projection sound. So even in like school, they had to teach me a different style. And I was just blessed that the teacher at the time, shout out Miss Dodd, she was like into jazz and stuff like that. So she would kind of teach a class after and like not necessarily teach, but if you wanted to go and stuff like that, I actually learned more and did more in that than the regular band because it was more of like, on stage with a lot of other people. And I would have to tone down my sound a lot, man, because I'm just like a very projection and it's more respected in jazz. It's kind of like a loud, kind of like a twangy, But she taught me a
Would
lot,
you ever?
man.
Oh no, I bet. Would you ever mix that like jazz style with like the style you have now, or maybe
Yeah.
do a
So
jazz
like
song?
if you dig into my music, I have a ton of genres I'm into. I'm into country, I've done rock, I've done Spanish, I've done Afro beats. I mean, like I speak in Spanish, I do it in the rock way, I sing in rock ways.
Oh,
I put
really?
everything in my style, but yeah, man, I definitely mess with a lot of different genres.
Oh, okay. So you're pretty versatile with it when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what's up
not,
right there.
yeah. It's probably because my musical
Okay.
background, man. I've always loved music, so
And are you pretty much like the only one in your family that makes music, or do you have like siblings that also do, or maybe even cousins?
I'll say that I have like my sister was into band as well. She played the flute, but she didn't ever do nothing with it. She could sing, but she didn't ever do nothing with it. Like past being in band, she never like was in a band or ever did anything after school.
Or try to pursue it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
right,
have
right, right.
one cousin because I don't want to like forget anybody. But as far as I remember off the top of my head, I have one cousin that he was in a band and they ended up having a song on like a TV show, man. I can't remember what TV show it was, but everybody got together and I just remember we watched the TV show and like they ended up having a party and stuff like that because everybody was proud of him. He was pursuing it for a long time.
That's fire.
He was pursuing it for a long time, but he was into rock and and he never I don't think he ended up actually like m- staying with
Blowing
it.
up or
Um,
oh, okay. So like he did so his song didn't get like what's it called nowadays, like viral off of like being on a TV show? Or was it like one of those small TV shows?
no, it was a big TV show. I want to say it was like Prison Break, but I could be lying, man. I want to say it was something like that. It was like
Oh,
a
so
some
yeah,
type
that's
of
pretty much like that.
like prison show, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, all right. Okay, so afterwards, you just didn't want to like keep going on with it and
Now, from
pursuing
what
it.
I understand, he did go on with it for a while, but it was one of those things that he already had a family. He was already doing things. He had already dedicated so much time to it, and
Yeah.
he became a X-ray technician or X-ray like a radio. I can't remember what he got into, but he got into something that paid good money, and I mean, it is what it
All right.
is.
Yeah, as long as you're getting money, like fuck it. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter what
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
pursuing.
yeah. Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
for
But
real. Okay, and you
I
said that.
wasn't close to him at the time, so that's why it's hard for me to like really speak on it or anything. But I want to at least say that yes, I did have one other because he made it pretty far, man. And shout out to him.
Oh, and not for real, for real. All right, and you said after seventh grade, like stop going to school. Like, why was that?
It's not that I stopped going to school. It's that like there was this incident. There was a couple of incidences that like led me to getting kicked out of school, and they were just weird instances. Wasn't really nothing I did, but the way school set up and everything like that, I ended up getting kicked out. And then from there, like I had a family that didn't understand that. Like I said, they were very um, like about education, about religion and stuff
So
like
they were
that.
pretty much
So
strict.
yeah, not like super strict, but it was one of those things like you did it like this ain't right, you gotta make it right type thing. And it just became to where I was like, man, if I'm gonna get in trouble for it anyway, and if I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, whatever, be in these areas where there are people that are like that, then you know, I just ended up like saying like fuck it, you know what I mean? Like I for lack of better words.
Okay, like was it like something like serious that you got kicked out of school for, or was it like
Nah,
not
man, it was
not
like
as bad,
fighting.
but they
It was
still
like fighting. There was a couple instances where a dude like stabbed me in the back with a pencil, bruh. And it was over a female. Like I didn't know at the time what it was over. Me and him were cool. You know what I'm saying? Like me and him were cool. And I'm sitting in class one day, and like I just feel something on my back, and I was like, damn, like. And then I turned around, I got dang pencil in my back, bruh. And I was like, and so just off of what do you call it, like an instinct or whatever you want to call it, I just, you know, I did what I did, and we ended up fighting. Um, like teacher was pretty surprised that I was involved in it. So she like broke it up, got it cool, and then like there was just like a little vendetta between me and him. He had homies and stuff like that, and I hadn't really been around that, but I had my own people from my neighborhood that when they heard like, oh yeah, like okay, so then it just became like this thing where there was like kind of like a little stigma, man. Like even one time, like it got so crazy that like I was getting jumped like every time I would get out of what we called sack, like ISS, I would get jumped, but I
okay.
wouldn't want to fight because my dad and my family was like, nah, man, like you ain't got no excuse. So I even like tried to like back against the wall, like do your worst type thing. They came in the classroom, and I'll never forget this white dude, man. Shout out to him. He uh he tried to help me, man, and he was like, because everybody else like left, and he was the only one in there. So he tried to run at a couple of them and was like, run. And I was like, I ain't running. So I said, get out of here. Like, you know, and I put my back against the board and I was like, hey, man, do what you do. I didn't want to get in trouble. And then at that point, uh, they pretty much, you know, just started teeing off on me. And man, from there, I still got in trouble. I still got suspended. And I was like, come on, man. Like,
That's
what?
crazy. You didn't even swing or nothing. You still
Nah,
got kicked
bro, I
out,
didn't
huh?
even swing. And that kind of made me pretty upset and made me like be like, man, fuck this. Like if it's gonna happen anyway, then yeah, somebody needs to get some of this too.
Oh no, for real, for real. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so you had pretty much like a whole group like after that like whole incident like with one kid, like they
Yeah,
pretty
man,
much try
yeah,
to
but
like
it
pick
was
on you.
because he was from like I said, there's railroad tracks, right? And like kind
Yeah.
of the school that I went to back then, it was in like the straight suburbs where I live. A lot of people say it's suburbs, but in that area, they looked at us more like the poor kids. And then like a lot of people from across the railroad tracks over here, they from the barrio, they would like use like maybe relatives or whatever like address over here, or they would move so close that they could go to this school. And so like we would kind of link up with them because we were Mexicano, they were we were, you know, Tejano, they were Tejano. And the school that I went to, man, it was like very like Mexicans did kick it with white folk and everything like that, but like depending on what kind of Mexican you were, if Mexicans fought, then you fought. If white boys fought, then they fought. And like it was just kind of like at the time and black dudes, like so it's kind of like and we have an Asian community over here pretty strong. And
Oh
and
yeah.
so like it's kind of like the preppy kids from each uh race kind of hung out together. But if you weren't part of that, if you were like more kicking it with your race, then you had like the more like street mentality, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was in the Asians, the Mexicans, the whites, the blacks, and
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. So there was like a whole lot of races playing that
Yeah,
school.
man, yeah, yeah.
What was
It wasn't really racism. It was more like stick together and do your own thing. You're talking to your own people. Like the way I put it is at my high school, because I did attend, but I just didn't attend like for a very long time. Like I would always be in and out of school, in and out of like detention centers, in and out of like alternative schools, and I ended up like for a long, not a long period of time, but for like 2 years at a uh, correctional facility. So
mm,
like that's why I don't really say I went to school because I had my GED by the time I was 16 or 15. So
okay,
but
so you ended up getting that like early on.
yeah, man, yeah, yeah. Like it was I pretty much from like 13 to like 17, 18, I spent very few months like out here. And then like while I was going to school, I would normally go to alternative schools, and they have like this like county alternative school here called JJAEP. It's not like just like you get kicked out of your school. It's like if you get kicked out of your school, you go to like alternative school. If you get kicked out of alternative school, you go to JJAEP. And like you would have a
So that's
probation
pretty much
officer
like
there and
more.
everything like that. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm almost bad. So like pretty much all like the bad kids went there and all like all bunched up
Yeah.
at that school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like people on the
Mm.
monitor. Yeah, you had to go through a metal detector. There was a lot of like fights, like gang related stuff and all
Oh
that
no,
at those
already
schools.
I'm already knowing. Yeah, I went to one of those schools too back then. Like I remember those metal detectors being right there and everything. Like all these like gang members or people that were like just fucking up all in one school. So there pretty much was just fights all the time after school, in
All the time.
school. People just smoking all the time, drinking, popping pills. Nah, I'm already knowing for sure. Okay, so you ended up getting your GED afterwards, but before that or during that time, were you making music or thinking about making music?
So at that time, the first time that I started about like so I always kind of freestyled at parties and stuff like that. So like that's how I got into it was a couple of people heard me freestyling, and then after that, it was like my homies would always be like, I guess like just to have fun at parties. And if somebody else was freestyling, it'd be like, get it, bro. Like, and yeah, it get attention, it get people like, kind of like the party going. It would also like females back then when you're young, they would be like, oh, you killed it. So like it would just be a way to kind of like break the ice if we were at a party and people didn't really know us. and
Oh yeah, like you, that's like a way to get like bitches back then too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. For lack of a
freestyling,
better word, yeah, man,
keep
yeah,
the vibes.
yeah. And
Yeah, no.
the first time that I started really like thinking about making music, I guess like in a studio type setting was when I was in what it's called like McLennan County Juvenile Correction Facility, but like it's over in Waco or it's in Mart, Texas, and we called it Mart One. I was in Mart One in the early 2000s. Um, it was gladiator school. Long story short, man, I had known I was kind of like I was pretty like smart or whatever you want to call it, manipulative, whatever, man. And I got this job. There was like two counselors that were on like that helped you do like paperwork and stuff on the dorm. And that's how you would like go through group and all this other stuff to be able to like, um
So this was like a college or something.
huh?
Was this like a college or was this like a
Nah, it was a
high
correctional
school
facility.
one?
Uh,
Oh, okay. So was it like a jail or something?
it was like a juvenile prison. It's called McLennan
Oh,
County Juvenile Correctional Facility. And we called it Mart One. So it was pretty much like
oh,
like I'll put it like this, man. Like people think that I've been to prison and stuff, and then I'll be like, nah, I just went to juvenile, and they'll be like, what juvenile? And I'll be like, well, Mart One or like McLennan County Juvenile Detention Center. And most people that have been to prison, they know about it. You know what I'm saying? So like here in Texas, there's some juveniles that's not really like you'll be like, oh, that was a boot camp, oh, that was this, oh, that was that. Like I didn't know at the time. I went to like the correctional facilities. There's about three different ones that like most people in prison even know about them. So
all right, all right.
and
Okay,
back
so like,
then
what
you
was the
could be
reason
locked up
why?
with kids, people up to 21. So like it was from like 13 to 21. So you were in there with grown ass men.
Oh shit, damn. Oh, that's crazy. No, I haven't heard of nothing like that over here. Like usually it's just up to like 18, then they move you to like a county jail or something.
Yeah, so they changed it I think it was 2007 when I got out. They changed it. I got these papers in the mail. There was like lawsuits. They were like, "Hey, did blah 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 happen?" And they pulled us into like what you call it like a probate parole office, and they said like, hey, like there's a lawsuit. They're like, did you get the papers? Like and long story short, man, they had to change everything because people, yeah, it was bad. It was bad, man. It was bad.
I'm already knowing for sure. For sure. Like, what was like the reason why you went to like that correctional facility? Like the situation that gone down.
It's pretty stupid, man, to tell you the truth. But let me just finish about the how I got into music. Like the first thing I did in music was like there was this little like like a secretary that was on the dorm, and I ended up working for him, man. And he was the dude, and he was pretty cool. And he asked me one day, are you into anything? I was like, yeah, man. When I get out of here, I'm gonna make music. And he was like, do you know anything about making music? And I was like, I mean, I know I can rap and like I can like sing some kind of stuff. And he was just like,
Yeah,
well,
like the basics.
yeah, so he said like Fruity Loops. He was like, look into Fruity Loops when you get out. And I was like, all right. So shout out to him. I looked into Fruity Loops, and then I ended up, doing my thing, and I ended up in studios and stuff after that. But he was the one that kind of pointed me. He wanted me to have direction. He always would tell me like smart people in here, they either get out and do something, or they just end up being the smartest person in the prison. So
Right. He put you on game for sure. And
yeah, yeah.
speaking of like Fruity Loops, like what is Fruity Loops?
It's a
Like is that something
software
like
to make
music wise?
music, man. It's a DAW, a DAW, which is a which stands for like a digital art workshop, I believe, or
Oh,
digital audio workshop. So
would like to master like your songs or
yeah, to
make it
record,
sound
master,
better.
make beats. Back then,
Oh,
Fruity Loops was really just for making beats. Back then, you could record and stuff, but it was not that. It was meant for making beats. And then I got into, because I was more of an artist at the time, so I got into Ableton. Ableton allowed you to record yourself and stuff.
oh, okay, okay. And like going back to like before you went to the correctional facility, like what did you do to get in there, and like how many years were you in it for?
So I was originally in. Our lights went out. We're having a storm over.
Yeah.
Anyway, I originally was in. Um, so like, I guess the big thing was I like had gotten out of alternative school to go into ninth grade, and I went to. That was the first time I had been back to regular school since like I think like seventh or sixth. I can't remember. And it was either sixth or seventh. I think I finished sixth in regular school, and then seventh I was in alternative school, and then like I didn't go back to regular school until ninth grade. And so I started the year off going to high school in regular school, and I had known like some kids and stuff from elementary and sixth grade and stuff. But the people that I had like made a circle with was from alternative school. So
Uh,
I kind of started hanging out with some of my old friends and friends from the neighborhood and stuff like that, and friends from my old middle school. But a big influence was like the kids that I was kicking it with from alternative school. And there was a couple that we would like hang out all the time every day. And like, I mean, I haven't told this forever. So like we it was me and one kid, man. We would hang out all the time, right? And then there was a couple other kids we would hang out, and me and this one kid, we would go to like skip school and go walk around the schools. Which that's one thing I can say is don't skip school, nothing comes good out of it. So we would walk around and go like to different bathrooms, and I would smoke cigarettes and other things and stuff like that, and I would chill. And we had an open campus, so like there was buildings in different places, and the only class I never skipped, like I would always go to some classes because I liked education, so I would go to some classes. Other times I would skip, um, but I would always go to band. I always went to band. So one day my friend was like, hey man, like let's go to this one building and chill there. So I was like, all right. And I would always chill, and he would always kind of like watch the door and to the bathroom. And so I was chilling in a stall, man, and um I was smoking my cigarette and stuff like that. I come out, and then I had seen him, like, I don't know if you know those brown paper towels, but he was like
yeah.
like burning some brown paper towels, man, and he would like put them out on the counter and then throw them away in the trash can. And this is like one of those trash cans, like those metal trash cans that's like in the wall, and then like The
Oh
napkin
yeah, I know them.
dispenser is like right above it in the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all metal.
Yeah, it's like right there. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so we would so I told him like, man, don't do that. Like that's dummy work. Like don't do that. There's no point in doing that. Like that's stupid. You know, like we're already doing things that's dumb. Like that's there's no point, you know. And so we go to another bathroom, man, and this is in the main building of the school and what they call the science building. And I mean, I went to the stall again, was doing my thing. He was doing his thing. I walked out this time and the damn trash can was on fire. And so I tried to pee on it. I tried to like take water and cup it in my hands and like put it out and everything.
Trying to put it out.
Yeah, and I tried to like even like shove my leg, but it was like high up, you know, and in the wall. So I tried to like stomp on it. I was trying everything I could to put this fire out, bro. But it just took off and it caught the napkin dispenser right above it. Which I mean, if you use your brain, that's gonna happen, right? Caught that
Oh
everything and that on
yeah,
fire. So and so, like in a very short amount of time, because mind you, I was in over here, I didn't smell smoke because I was smoking a cigarette. So by the time I got out, man, the whole like a large portion of the wall is on fire, and so I kept trying. I couldn't put it out, so I had a choice because like it was like kind of like this, and like the door to get out is right here, and the wall that was on fire was right here and it started covering where the door was. And so
the
I was like,
entrance.
man, I got to get out. So I opened the door and I ran out, and the whole bathroom caught on fire, bro. It's a
Oh
very dumb
shit.
story.
So what happened to your friend? Like he just disappeared right after he set that on fire.
I guess so. Like, I mean, I really never talked to him again because what happened is like the fire marshal showed up. They shut down the school. Like I had hid out in like the theater building, which was like a far building, and we're surrounded by woods and stuff on one side, and on the other side was like houses on the other side of the street. So I was trying to make it to the woods. So I had like gotten, so I had gotten to like the theater room by the band hall, and I knew the theater room band hall pretty well. So I was hiding like up in the rafters on the theater, and I waited and waited, but then they had shut down some of the roads, and I was like, man, I ended up getting out of the theater room. I looked across the field because there was like tennis courts and other things like that, and I was looking, trying to see like how I can get over there. And I realized like, man, they got it pretty shut down. There's not really a way for me to get over there. Like I'm gonna get caught. So I thought about like chilling in the theater room, and then I was like, man, like I need to get out of here, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and so I'm walking, man, and I see the dude, and I try to go up to him, man. And long story short, I let the anger get to me because he was trying to tell me something like he was trying to pretty much tell me like, man, I'm sorry. And I was like, for what? And then so like uh when I realized like he was saying sorry for a reason, I let the anger get to me, man. I did something, and he ended up
So you like socked him or something?
yeah, I
You started
assaulted him with
taking
a
off on
weapon.
him.
And anyway, um after that, I took off again. I had some friends that were trying to hide me and stuff, and I'm trying to like duck off in different classes. And long story short, man, I got caught trying to leave the campus, and they pretty much at that point, like fire marshal and everything, kind of like started letting people leave, and like there was cars leaving, but they were like searching the cars and stuff. So like they didn't stop doing that because I guess they were looking for me, and I didn't really understand what was really going on. Like I said, like I didn't. All I knew is about the fire clearly, but I didn't know like what they knew. I didn't know nothing like that. And I walked into the principal's office, man. The principal's, the assistant principal was walking me in there, and he's like, man, like, kind of talking to me and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know nothing. Like, I really, really don't. And he opens up, the principal's office, and there's like principal office here, and like this is like the little area where they have like the open area where you would sit in the chairs and wait to go to principal's offices, and like a little like desk over here for the ladies. And I was, and when I walked in, man, there was like a TV right there, like on. Like, I don't know if you ever seen them TVs that they have on like the black buggies, like that they would wheel into like classrooms to watch like
Classroom, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Put
they
on
had
like
one of
some
those, man.
comedy.
And he's like, "So you don't recognize that guy?" And man, it was like they had stopped the video, and it was just like a door like this, you know what I'm saying? And it was halfway open, and my little peanut head was sticking out, and there was like smoke and flames coming out, and I'm like, I don't know who that dude is. I was like, I don't know who that is. And then I look to my left and I
Right.
see, you know, the dude I thought was my friend. I see him over there, and I clearly understood, like he was in the principal's office, and I clearly understood why he was apologizing at that point, which I had already, come to conclusion, and that's why I acted the way I acted.
Wait, so like they only caught you on camera? Like they didn't catch the other guy like
No,
lighting
they caught him on camera,
because I
but
saw that.
apparently he had left. So like when we like this is like years later, man, because it took a long time to go through all the delegations because it turned out to be way more than anybody probably would have thought it was, man. Because it was a school, it was on the first floor, there was a floor above us that was full of students. That so it turned out to be a big, like a stupid thing, right? They tried to get me with all these crazy charges, and the fact that like homeboy reported that I had a weapon and stuff like that. Um, they tried to, it turned out to be this big thing, but like years later, when we finally went through court and everything was said and done, I found out that he was on camera, and but what happened was is he left like minutes, like probably like 5 minutes before me, like way before. Like I'm guessing, like as soon as I don't know if he started the fire on purpose. I don't know none of that, right? Like he was a liar. I don't know. Like we never really talked. It was always kind of like problems. He was kind of a little soft in the head too because he tried to like be my friend after that, and I like kept whooping him, and like
Yeah,
even
I'm
after.
good on that.
Yeah, man, like
I'd have been
he
like,
was.
nah, I'm good on that. You just setting on fire. That shit sounds crazy and shit.
Yeah, bro. So anyway, what happened was is like I ended up finding out they showed the footage, but when he left, there was no smoke, there was nothing. So I don't know if he started the fire and dipped out right after and left me in there on purpose. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know anything. Like just to be honest. And the couple of
Yeah,
dumb things that he said would be like, I don't know, there was no fire when I don't know, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So I really don't know. I don't know if maybe he lit some napkins on fire and then threw it into the trash can and then it slowly burned and caught that. I don't know. But I do know that when he left, there was no smoke, there was no flames. And when I did, there was. So
okay.
that was their whole.
Yeah, that was the whole case pretty much against you.
Yeah.
Trying to say that you started it because you started a flame up while you were in there. Yeah, so you ended up going down for him pretty much, doing
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah.
for
And I
something that
never
you
I
didn't
didn't.
do.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it was really dumb, man. But like I by that time I had totally embraced. Like I said, it took years and stuff. So I had already caught a bunch of other charges. I had already, done a whole bunch of other things. Because he was a witness in my case. We went to the same alternative school, but he went for a way shorter time. But he claimed that he was scared of me, which doesn't make sense, bro, because he would come and try to sit next to me at school, and then I beat him up at lunch or something. And and yeah, dude, I don't know what his problem was. I'll be honest, I really don't. Um, but he claimed he was scared of me, so I had to ride a whole different school bus. And I had to ride a school bus that it took me an hour to get home because they had to like circle everybody else and then come drop me off because the bus I should have been on, I wasn't able to because he claimed that he was
Yeah,
scared and
it
all
was
that stuff.
him and all. Yeah, so they pretty much try to keep you guys separated because he pretty much said he feared for his life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
so
no, that's crazy.
yeah, man.
Okay,
So
so
by that time, I had met a bunch of people from being on that other bus, from like everything. So I had by the time I went to court for it, I had a lot of other charges, and I had a great lawyer. Thank you to my parents. And I was able to not get everything that they tried to give me, even though I had already stacked up other charges and everything like that.
yeah, yeah, so you would have ended up like doing years if, without
Oh
that lawyer.
man, at first I
Like if
had
you
to
would
go
have had
to a
some like black
hearing.
lawyer.
Yeah, nah, yeah, I had to go to a hearing with the fire marshal to begin with, and they tried to like they made it to where I could not go to any school in this district for a long time, and then they pretty much said like unless I went into incarceration and got out, that I could never go back to another school in this district. And what happened was is I went to like some kind of hearing with the fire marshal, and they're trying to say that it was like so I got um, one of the charges I got that stuck was uh, arson in the first degree. So first degree felony arson, which is a class A felony here in the state of Texas,
Yeah,
and it made me an aggravated offender. So um,
so
what
you got a
happened was,
felony after you got out.
huh?
You had like a felony like on your record after you got out,
I had it up
like
until
it was on your
27.
name.
I had it up until 27.
Oh,
I cleaned up my life and everything. And because I had already done so many programs and I finished the program, I didn't like, I always finished all my programs. So because of that, by the age of 27, I was able to get it expunged. But, but
oh,
yeah,
okay.
up until 27, yes, I was a felon. I had three felonies.
All right. So it pretty much made it like harder too, because I know it was like probably harder to get a job then. Only certain jobs would hire you,
Yeah, man.
so it
So
made
I
it
thought I
more
was a career
difficult.
criminal. I'll be honest. From the age of like 14 or 13, 15, whatever, I had subscribed to I'm gonna be a criminal the rest of my life. So I thought that it was the end of the road type thing. So I embraced it up until about 27 years old, man, and I started changing my life. And thank God I was able to get it expunged by like I think it was like I was either 29, 30.
All right. No, that's what's up right there. Okay, so like fast forwarding to now, like how do you feel like it's changed? Like what are you doing now? Are you more focused on music and like trying to make a career out of it?
At a music or at a plumbing?
Yeah, are you like more no, it was well both, but more towards like music. Are you trying to like make a career off of it? Are you like
Yeah,
booking
yeah,
shows for yourself?
yeah. So I've gotten into music. I've been into music over like 15 years now, something like that. 10 years. I mean, it's close to 15. I made music behind the scenes for years, and nowadays is starting about a year ago. I completely launched my music. I have over 50 songs on all streaming platforms. Um, I also have a partner from Africa. Shout out, Big Ice. and we together make What's Real Entertainment. We produce beats. You can find us on BeatStars. You can find us on YouTube. Anything that people want to buy or anything like that, we can make anywhere from Afro beats to rap beats, trap, everything like that. So we're very versatile. Spanish influenced beats, we do that as well. So, you can find us at What's Real Entertainment, and yeah, so we do everything in house. We mix, master, we produce, and everything like that. So almost every beat you hear me on, like my first album or two, there's some beats in there that are other people's. But for the most part, it was Tongues of Fire, which is another group that I was affiliated with for a long time, and What's Real Entertainment. So between those two groups, everything was done in house.
Oh, that's that. And you also got like a platform called Reload Road or yeah,
Yeah,
Reload
yeah,
Road,
yeah.
where you like interview artists, creators, and entertainers.
So pretty
Like,
much
what
any
made you want to
independence.
start that up?
The fact that I am a entrepreneur in the plumbing realm and in music. So I also have been studying and going for my master's in plumbing, which will allow me to go on my own. And I have, like I said, made these partnerships through music as well, to where I can pretty much get anything done when it comes to music for people, when it comes to memorabilia and in the plumbing realm. So since I became an independent, one thing that I learned, and whether it's in plumbing or construction or whatever you want to call it, period, and when it became about music, one thing that I've talked to about a lot of independent people is that people don't understand how many hats you have to wear, how much work it actually takes, like to not only like write, produce, engineer, and to like find your collabs to do all that. Like if you just spent all this money, you'd be broke. And a lot of people do go broke, and even myself, I've invested so much that it's like you don't have a lot to show on the surface. You know what I mean? As to where other people maybe at your same age have like a savings and all this other stuff, but it's like if anything ever jumps for you, then man, you got it all on the back end. You know what I mean? So there's two different types of mindsets. So that's when I started like interviewing people and like wanting to know, like, are you more the type that's invested a lot, that maybe doesn't have a lot to show for it, but everything you own, like you own all your rights, you own like so much to where if anything jumps for you, you're gonna get this amount of money, or did you take the other route and build up your money first and then start like investing in yourself after you had money type thing? How far are you willing to take it? So because I kind of like took my road, and whether it's plumbing or um, music, I can kind of apply it to the the mindset that a person may have in business. You know what I mean? And so like I more use it to understand maybe like where a person's come from, to where I can ask specific questions that maybe other people won't be able to ask because they don't even know like what it really takes to get there. So like I'll ask specific questions to see what type of uh life choices, what type of person this person is, and things like that. And also so they can ask me questions. Because I always try to
Oh,
help
okay,
people,
okay. So
not end up
yeah,
in a
so
bad
you give them
position.
advice, right? You give them advice to like how to move, how to like invest in yourself. Also, I feel that. No, I'm already knowing like if you're an artist and all, you definitely gotta invest in yourself, even if it's like comes to like thousands of dollars, thousands. Um, like you were saying, like if you blow up or anything, you already put all this money in, so you're pretty much set. And it makes you like it makes it easier for you to get to your goal to get more exposure, all that promoting. So now I feel what you're saying, most def. I know one rapper from Florida, I think Bossman Elo. He like invested all this money into himself before he blew up, and then he ended up getting signed after that. So that's just one example for sure.
Yeah, no, it happens, man. You know, and whether it's the music or the production or whatever it is for me, or even if I'm able to get an artist and take them through like like the way that we do things and stuff like that. There's multiple ways to get the money back, but it takes a lot of money to make those friendships and build that road. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm already knowing most def. Okay, and you dropped a song called "The Plumber." Uh, what do you like? Like, actually, you performed that song too, like at a Below Impressions car show.
yeah.
Is that what it called? Okay. How was that experience, like performing there? And was that your first show?
Yeah, so shout out to Brown Impressions, man. Shout out to my boy Juan. He got me into it, man. Like I met him one day and he kept, telling me and calling me and calling me and being like, bro, you gotta get out here, you gotta get out here, you gotta. And I've never did a show and he put me in the position to do my first show, and he even suggested the songs that I should do and everything like that, man. And for a while, I was going through that whole circuit, and I got pretty well known in that circuit. And even to this day, I got tons of friends and tons of followers from there. So shout out to Brown Impressions. You
Right.
can see them throughout my. You can see the Car Club influence throughout my music videos, through everything, man. Like they're those are my people.
No, most def. Like, what car stood out the most, like at that show?
The cars that stood out the most, I'd have to say. So for me, I'm biased. My boy Juan, he's got a car called La Mera Mera, and it's a Monte Carlo, I believe. It's maroon, and it's got like, man, he's got the whole painting of blood in, blood out, and everything on the sides, man, with all Miklo and Crucito and everybody like that.
Oh,
And he's got
no doubt.
He's got a couple other paintings on the hoods and stuff, man. You can see it in one of my music videos, was several of my music videos actually. But one we're in depth on it, and you can see us zoomed in on it and everything like that. But it's been a lot of places, been a lot of car shows. It's a very known car, and he even got it signed by Crucito himself. So let's go.
Oh, sure. That's fire right there. Most def. Not for sure, for sure. Okay, and you dropped an album like a couple years ago called Part Story, and on that album you dropped a song called 4 a.m. Oh, what was that song about?
Talking about 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one actually didn't make the cut. It was supposed to, but that one was about me being in the studio at 4 a.m. That I never sleep. That even after work and after everything, I was always grinding. I was always hustling. I was uh I was getting it in. And what actually happened is I was in the studio making that song, and um, my my engineer at the time, shout out Daniel Perez, um, he had told me like, "Hey man, don't you have work in the morning?" He's like, "It's 4 a.m." and I was like,
Was in the all
and I was
nighter.
like, "Yeah, I do." I was like, "I do got work." And he was like, "Ain't you a plumber?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am a plumber." And yeah, so it became the song called 4 a.m. I ended up cutting it because I didn't really like the structure and everything. And by the time I finished Heart Story, I had so many songs that were better than 4 a.m. So I just ended up cutting it.
Oh no, for real, for real. You also got a song in there called Best Life, and then also another song called Full Throttle. And that Full Throttle song, you say it's Texas, even in the city, we country. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, yeah. So here in Texas, man, even in the city, we country, you know. Um, so I didn't know I was country until I went outside of Texas, and people would be like, "Man, you from Texas, huh?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm from Texas." And so I never understood how, like, I guess the way I talk and stuff like that, people could tell immediately, and they'd be like, "Man, y'all country out there." And we wear boots, even me as a dude that's not from the country, like I've been
Like
hunting.
cowboy boots.
Yeah, cowboy boots, work boots, whatever. Like we'll wear work boots out to like some nice work boots though, you know what I'm saying? Out to like the bar, whatever, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
um we may be in like certain type of like even street gear and stuff, but then like have some nice pants on with some work boots or some like some what do you call it? Like cowboy boots, whatever, and that's kind of just our style, man. Is like at least the people I kick it with. It I'm from the city, but I've been hunting. I know how to skin. I mean, I'm not the best skinner, but I've done it before. And I mean, spent a lot of times around a bonfire. Yeah, practicing my Second Amendment
Oh, right,
right.
right.
So
Oh no, I'm already knowing for sure, for sure. Okay, and like right now, like speaking of that, like Second Amendment, do you keep like guns on you, like for safety, or is it just what everyone does over there in Texas?
so I would say it's what everyone does in Texas. I've never been the type of person, and I'd rather say this out. I've never been the type of person. You'll never catch me with a gun out in public. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God, and I believe in these two things right here. So if and if anything's ever popped up, whatever, I can't say that I've never used a gun, but I've never carried a gun in public. That's not my thing. That's not what I believe in. I believe in myself. I believe in God, and it's always gotten me out of everything I needed to get out of, with breath in my lungs and stuff like that. There are a lot of people you will see down here with a gun on their hip, straight up, and that's just how it is. But hey, man, I stand on my 2 feet and I don't use them to run, so it is what it is. I just am the type of person like I'd rather always give a person a chance. I got a blade. I got other things. I got other ways to handle the stuff if I have to.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. That's like your last option. If anything like,
Yeah,
gets even
yeah.
worse.
But I will say, if you get into my house, you stupid. So don't get that twisted. You
Oh
come to my
no,
house, you dumb. So
no, yeah, yeah. That's when for sure you gotta bring that out. Um, I know that Chud is Chud a builder. Have you heard of him? I think he's like from Texas.
Chud the
Chud the
Builder,
builder.
man, I recently heard of him. Very, very recently, like last week, because all that drama.
Yeah, and like I think he's from Texas. I'm not sure, but he ended up like catching
I
a
don't know
case
that I
because he
don't
was
know.
like,
I can't tell you yes or no. I don't know. I just heard about all the drama and everything like that. Some about
oh
some
yeah,
kind of
him
incident,
being
jail
racist.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to like use his Second Amendment to like call like other people words, like trip on them, racist slurs and all that. And then when it ended up coming down to it, I guess one guy wasn't feeling it and he was about to fight him, and that's when like Chud ended up shooting him and then ended up catching attempted murder for it.
Yeah, I heard something
So
like that. Yeah.
yeah, he was pretty much provoking the person and all. So do you feel like you should still be able to like use your gun even if you're the one starting the problem and like provoking the situation?
So I can say that here in at least everywhere I've been in Texas, right? Like if you pull a gun and you don't have a good reason, you're more liable to get shot by another civilian than you are a cop, right? So I would say that for me, I was always taught respect and everything like that. Not saying it doesn't happen, man, but you have a really good chance of getting shot by another person uh than even when before the police come up. So like it's a real respect thing, you know what I'm saying? Like down at least from where I'm from, around the area I'm from, you you see people do dumb things with guns, but for the most part, you know that you're not the only one with one. So
Nah, so you gotta think twice when you pull it out or whatever. because
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
else
you gotta be
probably has a
ready.
gun
You gotta
on
be
them too.
ready. And I would say,
Mm.
do I think that you should pull a gun out? Well, I think it's pretty obvious in my opinion. I don't even carry one out in public. So like, no, I don't think that you should be able to tempt anybody. You know what I'm saying? But I would also say that you can't here over here you can get an assault charge, man, like quick too. Like it's not just like the guns. Like you're quicker to get assault charge than you are a gun charge over here. So it's like if people want to be scary, you can't even whoop them. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right. You gotta even be cautious about that too.
yeah. So do I think you should be able to just like pop somebody? Nah, man. But do I think that if you run your mouth, you should be able to hit somebody? Yeah, I think you should.
Yep, yep. I feel that. That's a little right there. All right. You got any like new albums you're working on right now? You're about to drop any like singles you're gonna put out? Any shows you about to perform at?
So I do. I drop singles all the time, man. I make it a like a religious thing to drop things all the time. So you almost every month you're gonna get something new. Um, right now we're working on production a lot. So what's real the YouTube page or what's real entertainment on like I said YouTube, BeatStars. We're starting to roll out what's real on all platforms. So like even TikTok's coming up, like Facebook, all that good jazz is coming
Make
out.
sure y'all tap into that.
And so that's where we do a lot of our production. We're leaning into the production side of it very hard. We're launching um, Big Ice is one of our artists. We're launching several artists, even like we partnered with Punch Records out of Africa, um, and they have an artist Biko. We have a lot of different artists that right now we're you know collabing with, doing music with, especially out of Africa. Um, we have a couple of artists over here that we've started working with and things like that. Shout out Dre. So that's one of our focuses right now. As far as me um, personally, I I am dropping a new Spanish-based song that's going to be coming out soon. I have not like worked everything out on it, but one project that I'm really proud of that's already dropped, but it's an Afro beat with a Spanish song on top of it, little English mixed in there, and it's called Con Ganas, and that is our sound. That is all us. I've never heard a song like it. I've never heard a beat with that kind of genre on top of it. So yeah. So those are things,
No, I'm already
and
knowing
uh
some Spanish songs. No, I'm already knowing because those Spanish songs be going up. Like they be getting like more views, more attention than like just some regular like English speaking songs.
yeah. Yeah, I will say that one of my
Yeah,
best
those are
songs that
fire.
people like a lot is Besos. I didn't think it was gonna be a good song, but it's one of my top songs that even people requested at shows I go to and stuff like that. So
Hey, yep. No, that's what's up. All right, so you got like things going on with other artists, like other like company, like this company you're trying to build up, while you're still trying to work on yourself, building up your own like
yeah.
music, putting out albums. So you got a lot pretty much on your plate right now.
Yeah, man. So one thing that I do is I work with a lot of younger artists very closely. A lot of them just want to like, I mean, maybe even get some ideas, some other things. I've been very blessed that a lot of them are very talented, and I wouldn't say we're like necessarily partnering with those people, but they show me a lot of love, and like they kind of ask a lot of questions, want to know things, run projects by me and things like that. The ones that we are partnering with is Punch Records out of Africa, Nigeria to be exact. And they have a lot of artists out there. They push me, I push them. So it's actually a pretty cool thing, man. I've even been on a song with Biko. He's been on one of my songs. He's one of their premier artists. Big Ice is my partner and things like that, and he's a pretty
Yeah, yeah.
decently. He gets more rotation than I do, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So him partnering with him being my partner with What's Real is a huge thing. He's a young artist, so like I'm getting older. As I get older, and all these younger people are coming over, man, that's a huge thing because it tells me that I'm still relatable. And the fact that like people listen to me in another country and other places around even more than they do in the US. And that's where I get some of my biggest fans besides the car club circuits and stuff like that. I would say that that is a huge thing, huge, because it's allowed me to to build fans in places that I never thought I would even that I didn't even know that they got down with like my style. So yeah, nah, for sure.
No, for real, for real. Yeah, it's dope having like the people that are younger listening to your music and all, rocking with it for sure. Because they definitely spread the word. Also, like speaking of the youth though, like would you give any advice or like what advice would you give them? Like what would you tell them? Like how to come up, like how to move?
So in life, I would say, man, watch the company you keep. Um, Especially if you consider yourself a solid person, a person that's loyal, a person that's not gonna fold on people and things like that. Watch the company you keep. The company you keep will definitely either lift you up, knock you down, or just make it to where your credibility, like as a person, your loyalty will be a weapon used against you. Um, so, other than that, I would say that in the music, um, man, whatever you want to be it authentically. And by that, I mean, like, if you're really about that life and you're doing all that stuff and everything like that, watch where you move, watch where you go, watch the people around you, watch the clubs you're in, watch everything. Because when you're really about that life, man, back in the day, I feel like we did a better job of watching our surroundings. Nowadays, it's like people want to be in the spotlight, they want to be at the dangerous places, they want film and camera crews everywhere, and it's like man, if you're really doing what you say in your music, unless it's like that you're making certain genres where maybe you're not incriminating yourself, but if you're incriminating yourself, man, stop. Stop incriminating yourself. It's gonna follow you forever. All it takes is for the
No,
right
for real.
film to get out, for the right person to get mad at you or jealous of you, and then that film gets everywhere. And the next thing you know, you're fighting cases, or you can lose your life, man. That's one thing that I always teach young people when they're coming from under me is or if they're trying to work with me or whatever, it's like we're not going to put you in certain areas. We're going to put you in places that I can control as far as like car clubs, things like that, because no one's getting in and getting out that's going to hurt you, nothing like that. It ain't going to happen. So like I've had pushback on that, but like I've told people, man, if you end up in bad situations, you got to realize if you got a real team behind you, they're putting themselves in a bad situation too, and that is stupid to put everything you have backing you in a bad situation. So like a lot of people that I've met, they want the clout, they want all this stuff, and they don't realize what comes with it. It's like a life sentence, death threats, death. I mean, it's just real consequences. And then they get upset whenever this person passes away, or it's RIP this person. Now we're dissing this person. Now we're this and that. And then you don't know why your family got shot, why this, but well, you had it all on the internet. You're acting like you're bulletproof, and you're taking pictures at your family's house, and you know what I'm saying, like man, like I mean, it's come to the point where you know people are willing to risk their life for money, and it to me that would be the number one thing I would say is not all money is good money. Just because you get the bag does not mean you're not going to lose the bag in court cases, in funeral costs, in having to, you know, fly to other places. We know artists like that have to live in whole other countries because of what they did here. And then they have to spend all their money going somewhere else. And all these artists that have to spend so much money on security, on everything like that, man.
Oh yeah, just to stay safe. Yep. Hey, you're speaking facts for sure. That was a honey right there. Make sure y'all tap into Whatsrillo. If you want to give them like your social media, where they can find you, your music.
Yeah, so it's gonna be What's Real on all platforms. You can pretty much find me on all that. The only one you're not gonna find me on is Facebook. I use my personal name. I'm not gonna put that out here right now. But like if y'all find me, great on Facebook. But if not, hey. But other than Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's all what's Rillo, Spotify, Apple iTunes, anything like that. Feel free to find me. I will say that my TikTok is the one that I'm most active on. That's the one that I push the most. That's the one that you'll see all sides of me on that one. From my walk right now to things from the past to music, all the time. You will find all new things happening on my TikTok.
Yo, make sure y'all tap in. Don't tap out. It's the Rap Wars platform. Until next time, we out of here.
I appreciate you,
Peace
brother.
out.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you already know. Make sure y'all tap into the next one. I'm gonna have like an interview coming up soon. I'll put it up on my IG. Peace up.